Assalamu alaikum, dear ADP art students. I hope you are understanding all the lectures which I have given on the old man and the sea. And we are going towards the completion of our study of this novel. Up till now, we have done the reading, apart from reading of the novel, we have done a detailed discussion on different aspects of the novel then. And now we are presently doing important questions on this novel. And I hope the sample answers which I am providing to you through these video lectures, you are working on improving those sample answers, as these answers have been taken from a source, and these are not, as I have told you earlier, these are not up to the mark. You have to improve in every way so that you could score better in your exams. And the question today, which we are going to do, is the discussion of the novel The Old Man and the Sea as a tragedy. Now, students, you are very much familiar with this word tragedy. Okay, tragedy is something, when you say that, whenever someone says that it's that a novel is a tragedy, or a story is a tragedy, or a drama is a tragedy, it you instantly gets the point that it is definitely a story of a story in which some misery or suffering or pain is encountered by the protagonist or the main characters. So, how could the novel The Old Man and the Sea be a tragedy? Now, basically, as we have learned that The Old Man and the Sea is the story of the Santiago, and in the previous question on symbolism, where we have discussed the symbolic meaning and the literal meaning of the novel. We have discussed that this novel has a parent meaning or a literal meaning, but apart from the literal meaning, it has symbolic significance, and we have discussed its symbolic significance from two point of views. We have discussed that it is a Christian allegory, and that it is the story of the writer, of the novelist, of Hemingway himself as a writer, and his literary endeavor, or his literary struggle. We have also discussed that as an allegory or as a parable, the story contains a moral lesson, a message, which is conveyed to us through the themes of the novel. Then, when we read this novel literally, we feel that it is a tragic tale of Santiago. Okay? What we feel is pity and sympathy for him, don't we? We sympathize with him, that despite being a very skillful fisherman, despite being so much confident as he was, despite the fact that he had the willpower, the determination, जो कि हम envy कर सकते हैं, envious हो सकते हैं, despite the fact that he had the spirit to fight, despite the fact that he had the endurance, the patience, the courage, जो कि बहुत हम में लोगों में नहीं होती, despite having all those qualities, the old man failed to take his marlin intact to the land. Okay? We feel sympathy for him. We feel pity for his failure to do so. But at the same time, the heroic struggle in which he is engaged, the heroic spirit which he displays, it makes us appreciate. It makes us envious of this character. It raises the stature, it raises the pedestal of this common, ordinary fisherman in the eyes of the reader. It raises this fisherman, this old fisherman, from being a common, ordinary person, ordinary character, to the hero of the novel, to the protagonist of the novel. He is the hero of the novel. Okay? So we feel sympathy for the old man. The whole old man, he has the qualities, the heroic qualities, which makes him the hero of the novel. The struggle, the heroic struggle he's engaged in, ठीक है, that struggle, वो क्या करती है, वो struggle, despite कि वो fish लेके नहीं आता intact साबुत, मगर वो struggle जो है, it makes us feel that the old man has won a moral victory against the sharks, against the odds, against the difficulties which he encountered in the deep sea. ठीक है? So we are, the novel is written in such a way because it is what the writer, the novelist wanted us to get at the end of the reading. ठीक है? क्या है इसका message? Yeah, this is your struggle that matters. It is immaterial whether you gain your goal or not. It is your spirit. It is your struggle that matters. Remember the theme of the novel? But a man is not made to be defeated. He may be destroyed. Okay? It is okay. Remember, we had done this theme. So a man can be destroyed but not defeated. So this is what the old man has done, and this is what is his victory. But despite having all the good qualities, despite having being engaged in a heroic struggle, old man could not succeed in in bringing an intact fish to the land. ठीक है ना? Again, he is empty-handed. It is only a skeleton which he brings. So, the role of chance. Remember, while reading while we were reading the novel, I had told you that that having these code heroes, they face uncertain situations. The old man himself had referred to fate, to luck, many a times in the novel. ठीक है? He has said that that I should be prepared for when the opportunity would knock at my door. I would be ready to catch it. So he was. He also believed कि you say they are रहना है, and then the fate जो है वो बड़ा important role play कर रही है. He says that I am an experienced strange fisherman, but I'm not being lucky. ठीक है? So luck जो है, it is something, the chance events, they are very important in the novel. The old man was successful in catching the big fish on in the 85th day. लेकिन क्या हुआ? He failed to take back. He failed to take that fish to the land. क्यों? Because by chance he was attacked by his fish was attacked by sharks. It could have been possible that his marlin would not have blood, and that the shark would not have smelt, or he would have somehow managed to bring that fish to the land. लेकिन ऐसा नहीं हुआ. He was attacked, and then it was possible ये दो चार ही sharks attack करते हैं, others would not have, जैसा कि उन्होंने किया, but ऐसा नहीं हुआ. So chance also played a very important role. So it was fate that he was fighting, maybe you can say, against. Despite sacrifices, despite endurances, the old man failed. ठीक है? Now, the old man also mentioned at one point that he had not come to the deep sea. By coming to the deeper sea, he had violated, he had made a violation. Now, that is the tragic flaw of the old man. ठीक है? And it is because of this, because if he had not gone to the deeper sea, if he had been near the sea, he might have brought the fish intact or some part of the fish. Okay, so the old man had made a mistake of going to the deep sea, where that is the violation which he had done. And remember, we had discussed it in greater detail. Now, keeping in mind all these points, let's read the sample answer. Okay. Okay, one thing more. Now, what is a tragedy? Tragedy, as I was telling you, tragedy is a tale of suffering and pain. And according to Aristotle, it is in tragedy. It is the downfall of a great person is is portrayed, and that person falls or dies, or his downfall results from a tragic flaw in his character, and at the end, the audience feels sympathy for the hero. Okay, so keeping in mind all of these things, let's go through the sample answer. Now, the old man in the sea is a tragedy. Well, the old man stands undefeated in his fight with the sharks and the fish. He is physically exhausted and weak. He has suffered a lot during the course of his adventure. His sorrows and sufferings are endless. These sorrows make him a tragic character, and he wins our sympathy. Okay, I hope you understood it. And then at the end of the novel, when we take into account the heroic adventure and sorrows and pains of the old man, we pity his tragic figure. The, okay, so you feel pity for him. The tragedy is defined as a tale of sorrows and sufferings in which the hero shows the highest qualities of patience, courage, and sacrifice. Okay, it is the definition. And then uh, it is the definition of tragedy. The hero may die or he may fail to achieve his aim, but he is not defeated in spirit. In a tragedy, luck or fate, chance, society, and nature, all separately or together, can be responsible for his worldly failure or downfall. And over here, what we have noted, as I have discussed with you, we have noted that Santiago was a man of superb heroic qualities. He was noble. He was noble, brave, patient, imaginative, able. He had feelings of love and affection for Manolin, and he loved his lower creatures like fish, birds, and sea animals. And he had brave and in the novel he bravely went on a long voyage to catch a huge fish, which he did. लेकिन क्या हुआ? But he also suffers from a tragic flaw. ठीक है? Or that brings his downfall. So a hero, the tragedy is defined as a tale of sorrows and sufferings in which the hero shows the highest qualities of patience, courage, and sacrifice, but he also suffers from tragic flaw, which becomes a cause of his downfall. The old man in the sea fulfills most of the criterion of a tragedy. Santiago is heroic in his character as well as in his achievement. He is noble, brave, patient, and romantic. The boy Valerian calls him the best fisherman. Santiago calls himself a strange old man with strength and resolution to catch a big fish. He is a true hero due to his courage and boldness. He exposes himself to the risk of defeat and death. He rows beyond the ordinary fish areas and hooks a huge marlin. He shows his strong will and courage. I will stay with you until I'm dead. Remember, this is the line from this is the dialogue of the old man जो कि उसने बोला था fish को. ठीक है? So old man shows unusual patience. Man is not meant for defeat. He was ready to die, but not to accept defeat before the odds. ठीक हो गया? Old man Santiago also also suffers from internal or inner mental conflict. ठीक है ना। और वो क्या कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है जो कि वो करता है, वो ये है कि after killing the marlin he asked himself whether he had committed a sin or not. It was not a sin because he had to kill it as a fisherman to feel proud of his grand achievement. Then he remembered his baseball tournaments of youth, the great DiMaggio, and the lines of his dreams saying on African coast to feel his youthful energy. He summed up. He summoned all his powers and mental and physical, thus to take the marlin back home and to fight the sharks on the way. Now, the old man also suffers from inner conflict. We have discussed it that he says like it's written over here. Like all tragic heroes, Santiago suffers from a tragic flaw. After he kills the marlin, he is visited by remorse. ठीक है ना, मलामत. He asks himself if he has committed a sin by hitting the fish. He consoles himself by saying that everybody kills everybody. Remember, we have done it in greater detail, but his answer does not satisfy him. He knows that he has killed the marlin in order to feed people and keep his name alive. Like all tragic heroes, he is also responsible for his downfall. He felt sorry for going too far out, and this is what we say is the tragic flaw in the old man, that he had gone to the deep sea over there. By doing so, he has violated, he has made a crime, and for which, against which he had doubts and fears as well. Okay, so Santiago had one defect of understanding in his character during his fight against the sharks. He said that he had violated his luck by going too far out into sea. In the end, he told himself that he had suffered so much because he had overstepped the boundaries of his physical and mental limitations. He was alone in a small boat, and his energy in old age could not match the forces of nature in the form of fishes and sharks and the monsters of the deep and possible changes of the weather. It was a mistake committed by him, and he had to face its bitter result. Against it, it was his greatness to admit his mistakes. सो ओल्ड मैन जो है एडमिट कर रहा है, ये भी उसकी ग्रेटनेस है और ये भी उसका स्ट्रेचर हमारे सामने बढ़ा देते हैं. So, having we suggest that the old man have overstepped the limits of his physical and mental powers. He is alone on his boat. He is an old man. He is weak and exhausted. He must have known that he cannot be a match for the fish and the sharks. His tragedy is surely the result of his pride and individualism. ठीक है. So in short we can say that the old man and this, so tragic flaw क्या हुआ, उसका pride और उसका अपने individualism है, उसकी इंफरादियत है, यही उसका tragic flaw है. कि उसने ये समझ नहीं सका कि उसकी भी कोई physical और mental limitation है, उसकी age है और जो कि उसको जिसकी वजह से deeper sea में नहीं जाना चाहिए था. So the old man in the sea is a tragedy that establishes the victory of honest effort, determination, and struggle over the greatest opposition. It shows the power of character, irrespective of age and situation, which is responsible for all intellectual, artistic, and spiritual achievements. Okay, so in short, we can say that this is really this novel is definitely a tragedy. Apart from one fact कि हमारा hero जो है इस novel का वो किसी grand stature का worldly उसके पास कोई stature grand नहीं है. He is not a prince or a king जो कि stories में होता है. He is a common fisherman. लेकिन apart from it, तमाम criterion जो कि एक tragedy के होते हैं are met over here in this novel, so we can safely say that it is a tragedy. I hope students you have understood today's lecture, and what you are supposed to do is to memorize the answer to this question after writing down a comprehensive answer, or you may do with this simple answer as well. Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.